Good morning, everybody. Today I want to talk about the ego briefly. There's so much that I could talk about and cover when it comes to ego, but essentially, I just want people to think about where their decisions and choices are coming from and whether or not it's ego driven or if it's soul driven. The ego is the primitive part of the brain that sort of evolutionarily came about, with fight or flight. Like, am I going to have to fight a saber-toothed tiger? And the ego kicked in to protect yourself. And so it's this protective mechanism in the brain. But obviously we live in 2023 and that's not the case nowadays. So the ego tends to pop up when it is anything that is fear-based. So when you are making decisions out of fear versus making decisions out of love or your soul or your purpose, that's the ego coming through. And so it's really important to differentiate this because a lot of things are ego driven, just like the simplest things, like the desire to want things that you don't necessarily need, to be, like that sort of pick me attitude, whether it comes to friends or partners. And those are all ego driven things. And I think it's really important to look at the things in your life that are fear-based decisions and when you're acting out of ego versus things that are soul-based and acting out of love. Because the ego will mess with you. It messes with your brain. It definitely feeds into all of your fears and insecurities. And a lot of the time, I think people suppress a lot of emotions based on ego. And you have to really pay attention to every choice and decision you're making. Ask yourself, is this coming out of my ego? Is what I'm thinking and feeling and saying and speaking and how I'm treating people, is that ego-based or is that love soul-based? And most of the time, unkindness and cruelty that we see in the world is ego-based. Most of the time when you're suppressing positive emotions, love, things like that, you tend to act out of ego. And I think it's just really important to be really aware of where you're making your decisions because it will change the course of your life. It'll change your attitude, all of these things. If you are living an ego-driven life, just not good things are going to come out of it. It is eventually going to get you. If you're living a soul and love-driven life, completely different. So think about this. I mean, there's so much that I could dive into with ego, but I think it's really important to just start being aware of where are my decisions and choices and thought processes coming from, ego or love? Love. That wasn't on purpose. Just didn't wash my hair today. Anyways, hope you guys have a great day.